Good day to everyone. Our topic for today is all about unit and job costing. We'll begin with the unit costing. So, unit costing is a method costing which is commonly used in industries that produce identical products. In addition, this is used in uniform manufacturing process in situations when cost units have identical costs. Examples of companies that employ unit costing include industries that manufacture homogeneous products, okay, like sugar, brakes, cement, works, collieries, and breweries. The following are the features of unit costing. So we have average unit cost. In average unit cost, it computes the average unit cost by dividing your total cost or lahat ng na-expense natin or nagamit natin or na-spend natin in producing your products and divided by the total unit of production, okay, in a specified period. And we have also a single product since unit costing involves single product only or a number of grades of the product. So that is unit costing. So there is this applicable only for homogeneous products or single products only. I have here an example. So let me read it. The management of pizza restaurant desires to determine the unit cost associated in their 10,000 sales of pepperoni pizzas. The following variable expenses per pizza are available. So you are given here on the first data, you are given the cost of each ingredients with its corresponding cost per pizza. So you have a total variable cost per unit of 5.56 per pizza, and below that are the fixed expenses of pizza restaurant, which are the following: the labor, which is 1,500, the rent, which costs 3,000, insurance 200 pesos, advertising 500, utilities 450, for a total fixed cost of 5,650. Now, yung goal natin dito is to solve for the unit cost of the pizza. Therefore, we have to add the fixed cost and the variable cost. But here, the fixed cost is amount. We did not know yet the cost or the fixed cost per pizza. Okay, so we will be guided by the following formula. Here, the formula of the unit cost. So in conducting or getting your unit cost, you need to your total variable cost per unit plus, okay, you need to get the answer of the total fixed cost divided by the total number of sales to get your fixed cost per unit. Now on the given, so our total variable cost per unit is 5.56. So andyan na siya. Ang kailangan lang natin is to get the fixed cost per unit. Now given naman yung fixed cost per unit natin, which is 5,650, and if you are asking saan to nakuha itong 10,000, it's above the problem. So in the problem, they have 10,000 pesos sales of pepperoni pizzas. Therefore, 5,650 pesos divided by the total sales, the 10,000. Therefore, you could get your total fixed cost per unit. Therefore, the fixed cost per unit is 0.57 pesos. So you have to add the variable and the fixed cost to get your unit cost. This and that is 6.13 pesos. The unit cost provide a dynamic overview of the relationships among the revenues, cost, and profits. Since this is just a unit cost, hindi pa po naka-add dito yung markup, then it will be the basis, okay, for our markup considerations. So, hindi pa to selling price, no? So, it helps the business owners determine if their business is earning a profit. Also, it helps them price their products by considering the cost associated in the product per unit. And now let's proceed to job costing. So this is a cost of a allocation method used by companies that make custom products. Okay, the keyword here is customized or custom products. In this system, work is undertaken to customers' specific requirements on the basis of orders. The work is carried out within the factory, which passes through processes of operation of activities. This method of costing is used in industries which are engaged in printing, steel structures, switch gears, heat exchangers, transformers, motors, pumps, pressure vessels, general engineering works, oil well, and shipping. So the following are the features of job costing. In job costing, a job which is consists of a single order or contract. So since single order or contract siya, it's because customized po ang ginagawa nating products dito. Okay? So, for example, glasses. So, we have customized or specialized glasses in accordance with the orders or the preference of the customers. Each job is unique in nature, so therefore, kada job or kada specifications na gusto ng customer is another job or separate job. Products are not manufactured for general consumption. Each order is given a job number kasi nga they are separate and distinct from each other. Okay? Costs are determined for each order. Therefore, kada order natin or kada customized products natin, they have also direct materials, labor, and overhead which are separately recorded. Okay, the duration of job order is comparatively shorter, and it is possible to identify a job at each stage of its manufacturing process. So remember, job order are customized products. Okay, this is an applicable method in getting your total cost or unit cost to customized product. Therefore, kapag customize siya, may kada job order or the product specification is unique in nature. Therefore, iba-iba po sila ng records keeping. Therefore, kanya-kanya silang unit cost per job order. Okay, so that is the concept of job costing. Okay, so the main objectives of job costing are the following. So first is to determine the cost of production of every order. So we are going to identify the cost per production, per order or specification. Then our objective is to determine the profitability of each order to undertake future orders or similar nature, and to control operational efficiency by comparing your actual costs with estimated costs. And the last is to plan future course of activities. So we have here an example. ABC Premier Cabinets uses job costing to calculate the cost of jobs as they are completed. The company estimates that it will have 1,000 or 1,250,000 in overhead costs in the beginning of the year. The company believes that the employees will work 200,000 hours to complete the job. Calculate the predetermined overhead rate, assuming that the company uses direct labor hours to allocate overhead to jobs. So here, before we proceed to the solution, in job costing, it is also possible for us to make a predetermined overhead rate. So, yung overhead rate natin, magbabase on a certain levels for a certain given. For this example is we are referring to or we are basing our predetermined overhead rate to the direct labor hours. Therefore, our formula for getting the predetermined overhead rate is estimated overhead over or divided by estimated activity. Here, so our estimated overhead is 1,250,000 and our estimated activity, which is based on the direct labor hours according to the problem, is 200,000 hours. Therefore, our predetermined overhead rate is 6.25. This predetermined overhead rate will be added to your direct labor and direct materials. Pero rate pa lang ito ha. So, 6.25 per direct labor hour tayo. Okay, so there you have it for the example number 1. Now proceed to example number 2. So, in example number 2, ABC Premier Cabinets completes job number 322 on July 7. The job used 45 direct labor hours and 30 machine hours. The job consumed 1,800 worth of materials, and the average direct labor rate is 18 pesos per hour, and the company uses predetermined overhead rate calculated in example number 1. So, our predetermined overhead rate was already calculated in our example number 1. So the formula to get the three components of job cost we have direct materials, labor, and overhead or applied overhead. So the overhead or the overhead rate was already solved. So let us now solve for direct labor and the direct materials. In direct labor naman, we have here in the problem, it consumes 45 direct labor hours. So 45 hours, ilan kaya yung per hour niya? Naka-state ba sa problem? Yes. The average direct labor rate is 18 pesos per hour. So therefore, in direct labor portion, we will going to multiply 45 direct labor hours times 18 pesos. Now for the direct materials, it was also given that the job consumed 1,800 worth of materials. Let us now proceed to the solution. So our step 1 is you have to calculate the direct labor based on the illustration. So the rate of average labor is 18 pesos per direct labor hour and the activity cost driver is 45 labor hours. Therefore, i-multiply lang natin si 45 hours na na-consume ng particular job na to its rate per hour. So that's 18 pesos times 45 hours, then that is 810 pesos. For our third step or for our second step, okay, apply the overhead to the job by multiplying the predetermined overhead rate to activity. So yung na-answer natin or nakuha nating predetermined rates, example number 1 is 6.25. Imu-multiply natin siya ngayon sa number of direct labor hours. So, our number of direct labor hours is 45. Therefore, 6.25 pesos is equal to 281.25. And then the next procedure is we are going to add the three items all together, the direct materials, labor, and overhead to complete the cost of the job. Okay, so let's compute now the total job cost. So direct materials is 1,800, then the direct labor is 810 as we computed on the step number 1, and applied overhead is 281.25 as we computed on step number 2. So yeah, add natin all together, therefore the total job cost is 2,891.25. So we have key points here. The value of direct materials is given in the problem. So, huwag tayong malito, binigay siya kanina. So, there you have it. So, that's the process of job costing. So, our goal only in job costing is for us to quantify the total cost per job. Okay. So, in here, the total cost per job is 2,891 na kinuha natin step-by-step process in getting the direct labor, applied overhead, and direct materials. So that's the unit and job costing concept. I hope you understand this topic for you to answer your activity.